Hi, I'm Matthew Cavalier and welcome back to my channel, Moments with Matthew. Perfectionism can kill us, and many of us are perfectionists. So we have to really think about, what does perfectionism gain us? Before we get started, please do click that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you are informed every time a new video comes out. And please do click that like button. It really does help my channel and help spread the message out. So thank you for continuing to support me. And please, again, continue to share and like and subscribe and all those fun things that you have to do for a YouTube channel. When we think of all of the things that we want to accomplish in our lives and all of the ways we go about doing it, it's not surprising that we want to be perfect at something. But perfect isn't obtainable. It never is going to be. You can be really great at something. You can master something, as we've talked about in previous videos. But perfection, I don't know that I want to achieve perfection. It's like Mary Poppins. She's
Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way.
But she doesn't claim to be absolutely perfect. And I don't like to think that I'm absolutely perfect, because then, one, where's the fun in that? Part of the adventure is learning and falling down and getting back up again. I do remember as a classroom teacher, when I was in the classroom, I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted my lesson to be perfect. I wanted the kids to be perfect. I wanted behavior to be perfect. And to me, a perfect classroom was, everybody close your mouth and learn something. Well, there's no perfection in that. And when I would get a less than perfect review, I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't happy. And that made me miserable. When the kids talked out and forgot to raise their hands, that made me so angry, and it would just drive me crazy. But I was teaching middle schoolers. They're gonna forget to raise their hand. They are not going to want to follow every single step and guideline that you have. And it took me a very long time to think about that. I was actually out of the physical classroom and into the virtual realm before I really thought, gosh, I was a jerk. And a lot of it came from my desire to be perfect. Now I've embraced the idea that I like to be imperfectly perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I want to have those rough edges. Even at the beginning of this video, when I rambled on and on, I thought to myself, you should really refilm that, but I didn't do it, because sometimes you need to show those imperfections. People want to see that you are human, that you are absolutely making mistakes. But the point is, are you making mistakes, and are you growing from them? Is there something that you're learning from your mistakes? If you're not, then we have a problem. But if you are taking those imperfections, if you're taking those stumbles, if you're taking those times you fall flat on your face, and you are learning from them, and you are getting up and you are doing it again, then that is the gift of imperfection. And I do steal that line because that is the title of Brené Brown's first book, The Gift of Imperfections. It is pretty amazing, and it does help you learn from being the imperfect you that you are. And that is okay. We love the perfect you. Embrace the perfect you. I think of why we want to be perfect, because that is what society tells us we need to do. And we have this little critic voice inside our head. I liken that a little bit to the Muppet characters Statler and Waldorf. Yes, I had to look that up because I just thought, oh, they're the critical Muppets that sit up in the booth in the box in the theater and make fun of everybody. But Statler and Waldorf,
this show is awful, terrible, disgusting.
They are the critics inside of us. I recently listened to a podcast, and I didn't love the podcast, so I'm not going to recommend it here. But one of the ideas that this person talked about was naming that critic inside of you. Maybe it's a Karen, or a Sharon, or a stuck-up old man named Chauncey. Whatever you want to name your critics, so that when they step out and tell you, that sucks, you're not good enough, you don't know what you're doing, how could you think that what you are saying is something that someone would want to listen to? You can say, hey Chauncey, close your mouth. I'm not interested in hearing it. It is important to recognize when you are critiquing yourself. And it is okay to reflect and critique. Absolutely, I'm not saying that. But when it gets bad is when you start to demoralize yourself because of your feelings of a need to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. These videos aren't perfect, but they get better and more interesting each time. I've looked back at some of the original videos that I posted and I thought, whoa, I have come a long way. But if I hadn't tried those first videos, if I hadn't put them out there, then I wouldn't have grown. I wouldn't have learned. I wouldn't have been able to shape not only this YouTube channel, but myself. If I were perfect all the time, what would be the point in self-growth? What would be the point of exploration? What would be the point of living? We want to make mistakes. That's how we learn. You know, as a teacher, again, I think to myself, my students want to be perfect. They want to get it right then and there, and they get frustrated. Absolutely. And the parents that come and say, my child is an A student. That may very well be, but they weren't an A student on this assignment, and that's okay, because that's how they grow. That's how they learn. That's how they know to do it better the next time. It is the important part of saying, where am I lacking? Where do I need to build up my foundation, my knowledge? And that is so important. As a writer, I have put out really crappy things, and that's all right. Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way, talks about just writing. Who cares if it's crap? Just put it out there, because the more you produce, the better you get at it. Experts aren't experts because they are perfect at their job. They are experts because they have put years and years of study into what they are doing to become an expert. They fell down. They weren't perfect every time. They had to stop and say, whoa, wait a minute, that didn't work. Let's see what's going to work next. That's why we do what we do. Perfectionism is not an attainable goal. It is not what we should be working for. Again, like we've said in other videos, it's about a ladder of progress. You have to build it rung by rung to get yourself where you want to be. But the goal is not perfectionism. The goal is mastery. The goal is getting better every single time. There is beauty in failure. There is beauty in imperfection. If you aren't taking the time to learn from your imperfections, what's the purpose? You have to be able to reflect on it. If I thought back to all the times I've messed up in every single one of these videos that I've made. Hi, I'm Matthew Cavalier, and welcome back to my channel, Moments with Matthew. But I liken it a little bit to the but I wouldn't continue to do this channel. I would say, okay, I've embarrassed myself enough, but I have to be comfortable with what I think is going to be an embarrassing moment, and I have to keep struggling and keep moving forward. Whether it's with this YouTube channel, whether it's with my career, my education as I'm getting my master's degree, and sometimes I get those assignments back and I'm like, Well, that didn't turn out like I thought it would, but I know what to do for the next time. You take the feedback, you take the self-reflection, and you move forward step by step. Sometimes it is a painful step by step, but every time there is learning and growth, that should be your goal. Not perfect, but getting better. That's what I want. That's what I need. I long ago learned that I'm not going to be perfect at something. Do I still want every time I turn in a project at work or put out one of these videos, do I want to say, oh, I think that was perfect? Absolutely. Do I want you all to like and share and make this a popular channel? Of course I do. But if that were my only goal, if that were the criteria of success for me, then I would curl up in a ball under my blankets in my bed every time that things don't go well, every time I don't get the views that I think, that people don't watch the full video, that I think, oh, the analytics are telling me that I'm terrible. That's not true. It is not true. It is putting out video after video after video and knowing that each video is going to get better. That's the true point here. But it's not just about that for me. For me, it's about sharing what I've lived through, the mistakes that I've learned from. Does that mean I don't want you to make mistakes? Absolutely not. You do have to make some of the mistakes to grow for yourself, but do I want you to learn from some of the painful things that I've done to make the experience a little less emotionally traumatic? Yes, I would like that for you. But do I want to take away the learning and the failures and the falling down that you're going to do? No, I wouldn't want to take that away from you, because that is how we grow. That is how we live the human experience. And that is why we're here on this planet, to live the human experience and to grow from it and to experience what life is, not only through the high highs, but sometimes from the low lows. They are important. Without sadness, we wouldn't know what happiness is. Without darkness, we would not know the light. And without depression, we would not know what an amazing day feels like. Do I wish those for you if you aren't cognitively having them? No, I do not. But do I wish for you to learn and grow and be better? Yes. Do I want you to be perfect? No, I don't. I want you to be perfectly imperfect. I want you to show the world who you are, warts and all, wrinkles and all, stumbles and all, gray hair, wild hair, things that make us go, ugh, I'm not good enough. Yes, you are. It's not about being the most perfect self. It's not about looking on other people's Instagrams and their YouTubes and their Facebook and saying, wow, what a perfect life they have. No, what they've done is perfectly curated that life for you. I guarantee you they have bad days. They get their pimples. They have the times when their photos aren't liked like they think they should be, and they may spiral into a depression. And that's not what I want for them, but you have to understand that there's something behind the camera, behind the lens, behind what they are showing you. There is no such thing as perfection. It does not exist. So what I want for you is the challenge of the reflection, the growth, the imperfectly perfect life. That's what you deserve. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got a lot out of this topic, and I hope you enjoyed our new introduction. That was kind of fun for me to create. I know it's not perfect, but I know it's fun for right now, and I'll continue to tweak it a little and see where we go. But I do like the idea of an introduction for our Moments with Matthew. So keep coming back, and please do click that subscribe button and click the bell so you know when to come back. And do click that like button. It really does help my channel. And I will see you very soon on our next Moment with Matthew.